Yo, what's up guys, Sam here. Welcome back to another video. What is going on? Alright, the world is officially different. I'm being facetious, of course. This is just an iOS update, but the first developer beta for iOS 13.5 dropped today. And you might be wondering why it says developer beta 3, like why was no one talking about this before just a couple minutes ago? Where were beta 1 and beta 2, for example? This is actually the iOS 13.4.5 beta that Apple turned in to iOS 13.5. And there's some really interesting stuff inside of here. Coronavirus, it's changing the world. COVID-19 has made the world a different place. And this update continues that trend with some new features for not only tracking COVID-19, but also aiding you for things like when you wear a mask. And I'll show you what that looks like in a second. So drop a like if you're excited for this video. Some really wild stuff in here. We didn't think this would exist a few months ago. And hit subscribe for more. Let's go ahead and take a look at iOS 13.5. All right, so before jumping into, I would argue, the most important part of this update, where Apple and Google are partnering to fight COVID-19, there's actually a user-facing feature that's going to help you if you're wearing a mask and you're using Face ID. All right, so normally this is how it works, right? Look at your phone, it unlocks. It takes a few milliseconds, maybe a few hundred if we're being a little bit wild, but normally it works really great until you put a mask on, and it's like, oh wait, your iPhone camera can actually see your face and securely authenticate that it's you. So Apple's come up with a pretty good solution. I've got a mask right here that I'm gonna throw on and watch what happens now. Swipe up to authenticate, and immediately it's gonna say that it failed and your passcode is required. That's because, well, your iPhone has been able to smartly detect that you have a mask on, and rather than having it fail a couple times, it's gonna tell you immediately, you should probably just enter your passcode, bro. Enter your passcode and you get into your phone automatically, but this is definitely gonna save you time because, you know, you've probably been out and about, you want to look at a list while you're shopping, or you're just trying to get on your phone and it's like, oh, it keeps failing, what's going on? And it's like, oh yeah, you know, I do have a mask on, I'm trying to be safe out here, which is the recommended guidance right now. So now you just get presented with the best possible option. Just like Face ID was the best option before, entering your passcode is the best option now. This is awesome, it's really handy. And I gotta tell you, Apple is thinking a bit ahead of the curve on this. Recently, Apple and Google announced a combined effort on iOS and Android through some upcoming software updates to help track the spread of COVID-19. Now, this sounds, whoa, like my data, what's happening there? It's actually really interesting, and while I don't have the greatest technical understanding of it, it essentially works like this. So when you update to iOS 13.5, you head into settings and then go down, you can actually search for it as well, but go down to privacy, which is right here, and then tap on health. There is going to be a new option at the very top, front and center, called COVID-19 exposure notifications. And you can see there's a write-up right here. So when it's enabled, and mine was enabled by default on this beta 3, it says iPhone is using Bluetooth to securely share your random IDs with nearby devices and collect their IDs. This enables an app to notify you if you've been exposed to COVID-19. Random IDs are deleted after 14 days. Now, here's how this works. Whenever you have this turned on and you're walking around in the real world, this uses Bluetooth to collect the IDs of other iPhones and also send your completely anonymous ID to other people. And again, this isn't actually just for iPhones, this is for iPhone and Android. When you have this app or update installed on your phone, walking around in the real world will trigger you to send your ID out and also receive someone else's. So the first person, let's say, didn't have it. You're not gonna get a notification, nothing happens, you've just swapped IDs, and both the iPhones say, okay, neither of you had COVID, we're not gonna trigger any notification or let anybody know because you're just two random people. And keep in mind, again, it's all anonymous, so there's no like master list, everything is stored on device. Now, let's say that you run into a 15th person later that day from going to the grocery store or going out somewhere, maybe a walk in the park. If that person has it and they've decided to share the fact that they have COVID, because this is opt-in. So in a perfect world, yes, everyone that contracted COVID would share it so that everyone could be notified, but it is up to the individual to let everyone know if they have COVID. So, I mean, this isn't a perfect system. Somebody that has it could choose not to share and then you wouldn't get notified. But let's say this person did. You're gonna receive a notification on your phone that suggests self-quarantining for up to 14 days. So let's say this person decided to share. Certainly if I had it, that would be the choice I would make. Then you would be suggested, everyone that you came into contact with that had the new update would get a notification saying do self-quarantine for 14 days. That way, if you got it, you couldn't infect anybody else, or if you actually didn't for sure end up getting it and you just came into close contact but didn't contract it, at least you'd be safe and you would know for sure that you didn't get anybody else sick. I like this idea a lot because it's going to allow your phone in your pocket to protect you from COVID potentially, or more importantly, protect you from infecting somebody else. If one person that you were exposed to had it and then you got it, you might not know, but if that person's phone told you that they had it, you could then self-quarantine quarantine and prevent your mom, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your sister, anybody else from contracting it. I like this all. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it down below. Again, this is a brief explanation. It gets much more technical than this as far as how they make it anonymous, how they collect the data, but I like it a lot. And again, I never thought we would see this in the same screen, or that I'd ever be talking about this in a video. All right, so let me know your thoughts on iOS 13.5 Developer Beta 3 down below. Again, I know it's confusing with the version number. It's just an extension of iOS 13.4.5, and it is going to be right around the corner, hopefully. Apple seems to be accelerating testing. They initially said that I don't think a beta would be available until May, and now at the very end of April, they actually jumped ahead of the curve a bit. So hopefully you're going to see this soon. Could actually save you or somebody else's life. And let me know your thoughts on all these features down below. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, hit subscribe for more. And of course, I'll see all of you in the next video.